Having trouble recalling adjectives in your everyday Emirati conversations? Don't worry, I'm here to help. Today we are going to be learning 30 of the most commonly used Emirati Arabic adjectives by means of using them in simple everyday sentences. One of the things that I have learned in my Emirati Arabic learning journey is that it's very difficult for me to rote memorize nouns, adjectives, and verbs in isolation, and I tend to better recall them when I use them in everyday sentences. This helps me when I'm trying to speak Emirati Arabic daily, because then I can just think of the sentence and I will know how to place the adjective or the verb or the noun. So today we're going to be covering around 30 of these everyday adjectives. If you're interested in supplementing this video and you're learning, then the PDF for this lesson is available in my Ko-fi store. It's either here or here, depending on the space on the screen. So go ahead, make sure that you go ahead and check that out. And without further ado, let's get started with today's lesson. So the first adjective we're going to cover today is upset. Upset is متضايق if you're talking about a male, and متضايقة if you're talking about a female. And now let's use it in a simple sentence. For example, he seems upset. He seems upset will be مبين عليه متضايق. مبين عليه متضايق if you are talking about a male, and مبين عليه متضايقة if you're talking about a female. So he seems upset or she seems upset. Correct? Let's move on to the second one. The second one is hungry, which is what I'm feeling right now because it's Ramadan and I'm fasting. So hungry. Yuan if you're talking about a male, and Yuana if you're talking about a female. So we can say, for example, are you hungry? If we're talking about a male, we're going to say Inta Yuan. For a female, it will be Inti Yuana. Next one is angry. Angry is ma'asib for a male and ma'asiba for a female. You can say ليش أنت مآسب? Why are you angry? Or ليش أنتِ مآسبة? Why are you angry? For a female. Please note that I'm purposely keeping these sentences simple because I still am in the very early learning stages of my Emirati Arabic, and if you are the same, hopefully this will help you. If you're in a more advanced phase of your Emirati Arabic, then these might be too basic for you and you can go ahead and make your own more complex sentences, and be sure to share with us in the comments so we can learn as well. The next one is sick. Now there are two ways of saying sick. You can either say marid or you can say mehud. I'm going to be using both just so you know you have choice. So for a male it'll be marid or mehud. For a female it will be marida or mehuda. And the sentence can be, sample sentence can be I'm feeling sick. So you can say has inni mehud or has inni marid if you're a male, and has inni marida and has inni mehuda if you're a female. All right. Next one is free or available. So for example, you can say are you free now? A sample sentence. Free would be fadhi for male and fadhiya for a female, and a sample sentence would be inta fadhi or inti fadhiya. And if you're saying right now, you can say inta fadhi alhin and inti fadhiya alhin. The next one is heavy. Heavy is thaqil and taqila. And a sample sentence can be, for example, are those boxes heavy? So you're going to say hadilak, which is a plural form of that or this. So hadilak. As-sanadiq, which is plural for boxes, and heavy we're going to say thaqil, thaqila. So hadilak, as-sanadiq, thaqila. If you remember the rule, if a noun is plural and non-living, then we're going to use the singular feminine form of the adjective to describe it. Therefore we are using thaqila and not thaqil. Okay, so the next one is very Ramadan appropriate, is fried. Fried is magli and magliya. So for example, you can say I don't like fried food, it's very heavy. That would personally be me. I find breaking my fast with fried food to be just very uncomfortable on my tummy, so I try to avoid it. So ma ahab, I don't like. Fried food would be akal magli, fried food, and vayat taqil, it's too heavy. Okay, or you can just say I don't eat fried food. So in that case you will say ma akal magli. You don't need to say ma akal magli. You can just say ma akal magli. I don't eat fried food. The next one is wise. Wise is aqil if you're talking about a male, and aqla if you're talking about a female. So you can say, for example, my grandfather is very wise. So you will say yiddi wa'id aqil if you're talking about your grandfather, and yiddati wa'id aqila if you're talking about your grandmother. Okay. Next one is light. Light is khafif. So khafif for a male and khafifa for a female. A sample sentence can be this fabric is very light. So you can say hada gamash wide khafif. Next is comfortable. So comfortable is muri for a male and muriya for a female. And a sample sentence, for example, might be this bed is very comfortable. So hada as-sarir wide muri. Or you can also say this pillow is very comfortable, in which case you will say hadi. And why are we using hadi, the female form of demonstrative pronoun? Because the noun that's going to follow is a feminine noun. It is a pillow. Pillow is mikada. Mikada, hadi mikada wide muriya. Okay, hadi mikada wide muriya. And bed is a masculine noun, so hada as-sarir wide muri. All right. The next one is dirty. Dirty is wasaq for male, wasaq, and wasqa. Wasaq, wasqa. So you can say, for example, this room is very dirty. Or you can say, why is this room very dirty? Let's make it a little bit different. So let's say, why is this room very dirty? So you're going to say, lesh al-ghurfa wide wasqa, because the noun room is feminine noun. So we're going to say, lesh al-ghurfa wide wasqa. If you want to use it for a masculine noun, you can say, lesh al-bed wide wasaq. Why is the house so dirty? Because bed is a masculine noun. Next one is the opposite of dirty. It's clean. Clean is nadif for males and nadifa for female. You can say the room is very clean now. So you can say al-ghurfa nadifa al-hin. Al-ghurfa nadifa al-hin. The room is clean now. The next one is intelligent or smart or clever. For all of these, we can say dhaki for if you're talking about a smart male, or dhakiya if you're talking about a smart female. So you can say, for example, my sister is very intelligent. You would say ukhti wa'id dhakiya. If you want to say my brother is very intelligent, which is very rare, but you can say ukhui wa'id dhaki. Ukhui is my brother. The next one is local. Local is mahalli for male and mahalliya for female. So a sample sentence can be, and which applies to me, is I like to support local businesses. So we can say ahab asanid mashari mahalliya. Now remember, even though we're using the plural form of the noun businesses, because it's non-living, we are going to say ahab asanid mashari mahalliya. We're going to use the singular feminine adjective. All right. The next one is full, which is matrus for male and matrusa for female. And the sentence I'm going to be making is very, very relevant to Dubai. In fact, all of UAE. The parking lot is full today. So al-muwaqif, matrus, al-yom. Al-muwaqif is the parking or the parking lot. Matrus, full, al-yom is today. Then we have locked or shut. So locked or shut, there are two ways of saying it. There is musakkar and musakkara, or there is makhful and mukhful, and you can use either one. So for example, we can say the door is locked and I don't have the key. So you can say the door would be hada al-bab, either musakkar or makhful. Hada al-bab musakkar, wa ma indi al-miftah, and I don't have the key. So again, hada al-bab musakkar or makhful, depending on which one you're using. Wa, which is and, ma indi, which is I don't have, al-miftah, the key. All right. Excuse my tummy rumbling. I'm fasting. Okay. The next one is hot. Now this hot is the one that applies to objects. Okay. For example, the weather or food. So that is har and hara, male and female. You can say the weather is very hot today. So you can say iljo har wayad al-yom. The next hot applies to people. So it's haran for male and harana for female. And a sample sentence we could use is, for example, I'm feeling very hot and sweaty in these clothes. So you can say I'm feeling is has inni. Very hot would be wa'id harana, because I'm a female. And sweaty would be wa maruqa. And in these clothes would be bahal malabis. Okay, in these clothes. So has inni, harana, wa maruqa, bahal malabis. I'm feeling very hot and sweaty in these clothes. If you want to apply the same to a male, you're just going to switch out the harana for haran. So hasini haran instead of hasini harana. All right. The next one is my favorite, limited. Limited is mahdud for male and mahduda for female. This is a limited edition bag. So you can say hadi. You can say hadi because bag is female. Hadi shanta izdar mahdud, or hadi juti izdar mahdud. This is a limited edition shoe. The next one is engaged. Engaged is khatib for male and makhtuba for female. If you want to say, I just got engaged, then you're going to say tawi khatib for male and tawi makhtuba for female. The next one is national. National is watani for male, masculine, and wataniya for feminine. Sample sentence would be, UAE's national dish is majboos. It really is. So you can say al-akla al-wataniya, the national dish, lil Emirat of UAE, hiya al-majboos, is majboos. Okay, so al-akla al-wataniya, lil Emirat, hiya al-majboos. The next one is important, which is muhim, masculine, muhima, feminine. And a sample sentence could be, this document is very important. So hada al-mustanad vaid muhim. Mustanad is document. Hada is this. Hada al-mustanad vaid muhim. The next one is also very Ramadan appropriate. Sleepy. Sleepy is nas'an for masculine and nas'ana for feminine. A very simple sentence. I am very sleepy today, or I am very sleepy in Ramadan. So you are going to say ana vaid nas'ana because I'm female. Ana vaid nas'ana fil Ramadan. In Ramadan, I'm very sleepy in Ramadan. Or ana nas'an ana vaid nas'an al-yawm. I'm very sleepy today if you're a guy. Or another sample sentence you can make is hu daim nas'an. He is always sleepy. The next one is useful, which is mufid, masculine, mufida, feminine. A sample sentence we can make is, for example, this book is very useful. So hada kitab vaid mufid, because kitab is a masculine noun. The next one is wrong, which is ghalat. As per my understanding, there's really no feminine or masculine. For ghalat, it's just ghalat. Okay, so we can use it in multiple sample sentences to clarify you. For example, your answer is wrong. If you're talking to a male, you're going to say jawabik ghalat. Jawabik is your answer for male, and for a female, you're going to say jawabich ghalat for a female. If you want to say, for example, this address is wrong, then you're going to say hada al-inwan ghalat. This address is wrong. Hada, this al-inwan address ghalat. Hada al-inwan ghalat. Another sample sentence can be, you called the wrong number. So it's ittasalti fi rakam ghalat if you're talking to a male, and ittasalata fi rakam ghalat if you're talking to a female. Okay. The next one is also Ramadan appropriate, and it's something which I'm feeling so much right now, and it is thirsty. Thirsty is atashan. Atashan if a guy is thirsty, and atashana if a woman is thirsty. So for example, I'm very thirsty. Can I have water? Ana vaid atashana. Mumkin indi mai. So I'm very thirsty. Ana vaid atashana because I'm a female, or if you're a male, you can say ana vaid atashan. And mumkin indi is can I have? Mai is water. The next one is slow. Slow is bati. Bati and batiya. And a very obvious sentence would be about a car. So this car is too slow. So hadi sayyara vaid batiya. Or you can phrase it as a question. Lish hadi sayyara vaid batiya. Okay. The next one is a responsible, which is ma'sul and ma'sula. You can say, for example, your sister is very responsible. So ukhtik, if you're talking to a guy, ukhtik vaid ma'sula, or ukhtich vaid ma'sula. Now, one important thing you need to note in that both scenarios, whether I'm talking to a guy or a girl, I'm using the feminine form of the adjective responsible. Why? Because I'm talking about the sister. The sister is feminine. If I were to be talking about a brother, I would say ukhuik vaid masul and ukhuich vaid masul. In that case, because the object that I'm referring to, that is the subject of this sentence, is masculine, the adjective to describe him will also be masculine. All right, regardless of who I'm talking to, whether I'm talking to a male or a female, the noun that we are discussing, which is the brother, because he's masculine, we're using a masculine adjective to describe him. All right, I hope that makes sense. I'm having Ramadan brain. Excuse me. Don't worry, we just have 2 more left, and then we'll be done with this lesson. Because this is a very long lesson and there's 60 adjectives, I thought it would be best if we divide it into two portions so that you don't get tired and so that I don't get super thirsty talking in Ramadan for this long. So then we have remaining. Well, how appropriate. Remaining is bagi, masculine, and bagiya is feminine. A very simple sentence can be how much is left, which is kam bagi or kam bagiya. And this can apply to various things. It can talk to how much time is left, kam bagiya wagat, how much time is left. Or it can apply to, how much food is left, kam bagi akil. So many things you can use this to, right? Or how much money is left, kam bagi bezab. And the last one for today is jahiz. Jahiz is ready and jahza is ready for feminine. So jahiz masculine, jahza feminine. Let's make a very obvious sentence. Are you ready? Inta jahiz if we're talking to a male, and enti jahza if we're talking to a female. And that's it, guys. We just covered 30 out of the 60 regular adjectives in Emirati Arabic with sample sentences. Hopefully this lesson was helpful for you. I do apologize for being so tardy in uploading videos, but I was away for Umrah for an entire week last week, and then I came back. I got sick, as you can probably tell by my voice. And then Ramadan started, so it just kind of everything just snowballed, and I kept having stuff piled up. Even my own learning was affected a great deal. I was not able to revise anything. So this lesson was an excuse for me to get back to my own learning as well. If you're interested in purchasing this PDF to supplement this lesson, it's available on my Ko-fi store. I'll put up a link depending on where there's screen space. Make sure you check that out. It is created by me. It contains all of the adjectives that we went over today, including 30 more, or it could be more too, depending on how many I end up adding to it, along with simple sentences that you can refer to supplement your learning. There are other resources there as well. All of them have been created by me. It's learner created. It is made to answer the questions and address the confusions of learners of Emirati Arabic. So hopefully you'll check those out, and I will see you in the next lesson very soon.